So hey everybody, it's your favorite panfish guy and welcome to PFG Fishing. I wanted to talk to you tonight about some uncomfortable truths of doing YouTube fishing videos. One of those truths is that not every trip is a success. I guess that's why they call it fishing and not catching, right? Being that this is a hobby for me, sometimes my game plan works out and sometimes it doesn't, particularly in lakes that I don't know very well. Sometimes I show up and a pile of fish falls in my lap. Sometimes I go home empty-handed. So are the trials of being a YouTube fisherman. Sometimes the fish don't cooperate. Sometimes I show up without a real good idea of how I'm going to catch them. Sometimes I'm too stubborn for my own good. I can't change strategies as the day goes on. There's also an issue with me not being real familiar with my tools. You know, I have 2 hummingbird units on my boat and I've recently added live scope, and electronics are not my strong suit. You would think with all the technology I have on my boat, I could find some fish and catch a few, but that doesn't happen all the time. So that's the uncomfortable truth. I'm an average fisherman at best, and I might be a little luckier than some. Another truth is that I have a little trouble getting outside of my comfort zone. So there's a couple of things I feel like I do well. One is spider rigging. That's kind of my favorite. So long story short, I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to go check out some new lakes, try some new methods, try actually using my electronics instead of just showing up and saying, ooh, that spot looks good over there. Actually do some scanning, find some structure, light it up with the live scope and see what happens. But like I said, I've been kind of stubborn, kind of stuck in my ways, and I really need to get out of that. So today's video illustrates what I'm talking about. This was kind of in that funky time of year when the fish are in between summer and fall pattern, and I was having a bit of a hard time of it. This episode covers 3 different trips that resulted in low numbers of fish and some broken equipment, including transducer mounts, poles, and props. But like I say, if you don't break something, you're not trying hard enough, right? Anyway, check out the video. So this first segment, I got to fish with a subscriber, Victor, aka Fish Fry Guy. I showed up without a real plan other than checking out the bridges and maybe doing a little spider rigging. Needless to say, the bridge bite was slow. Victor did catch a solid 12-inch fish, and I caught a white bass. So we wandered around a little bit, and we ran into Scott and Amy Kendall up by the highway. I tossed a banana in the back of his boat on the way by. Kidding, of course. If you're looking for some high-quality pill heads and good plastics, you should check these guys out. Scott and Amy's Atomic Jigs on Facebook. So we kind of wandered around from place to place and caught a fish here and there. My attempt at spider rigging in the creek channel up towards Ina only yielded 1 fish. I kind of lost interest in filming after a few hours, so there was limited footage to work with. Not a whole lot to see here, but we did catch 5 keepers and had a good time. I volunteered for the AmVets Outdoors event at Wren Lake the following weekend. I parked my boat at the lake zone and pulled my camper up on Thursday night. My plan was to pre-fish on Friday to get some ideas for the event on Saturday and Sunday. I kind of did the same thing as I did the previous weekend, with pretty similar results. Checked out some of the bridges, caught 9 fish in like 6 hours on the water. At this point, I really wasn't trying to use the electronics to their capabilities. and I really need to get over that. Needless to say, my fishing with the veteran at the event the following day was a spectacular failure. I got together with Jason from Buckbrush Fishing Guides 2 days before this was filmed, and we really slammed them on orange hand-tied jigs. So I figured I might be able to recreate what we did 2 days earlier fishing in the same area, noting I did not have live scope at this point. I put the boat on, and on the way to the spot got hung up on some stumps and ripped off the transducer mount again and bent my prop. So I rigged up with an orange head from Scott and Amy's Atomic Jigs and an orange body from Brush Pile Jigs. I caught several fish in short order and managed to break a rod in the process. But I got impatient and I ran down to the bridges to check them out. That was a total bust. Wound up with 4 really nice fish. Had I stayed where I was, I likely would have gotten my limit. Again, me being hard-headed. So that's all I have for now. I've resolved to get to know the lake better, and I tripped over a deal on a barely used live scope. It is time to get my electronics game up to speed. Tight lines, folks. Hey everybody, don't forget to check out our friends at my724outdoors.com on the web and Facebook. And check out my Facebook and Instagram pages. Also coming soon, panfishguy.com. You can now also follow me at panfishg on Twitter. Hey, knock it off!